Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Goldfish.
Boys.
My name's Seth,
Sam.
Elijah.
and today we are joined by our fourth ever guest on Goldfish Boys. Cristiano, introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm Cristiano, also from Listiano Gaming. If you don't know, check us
Ooh.
out on TikTok.
Link in the description.
Shameless
Yeah.
plug.
All day, baby.
Yeah, we're here to discuss a very, 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 very important film. It's the first Superman film in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Since what? Man of Steel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man of Steel was
the first solo
yeah.
Superman film. Yeah, in
Yeah.
over a decade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys. Expectations going to this. Let's just hop right all the way in. Sam?
Expectations going into this?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a 6 out of 10 star. We're putting a taboo again,
You're okay.
numerical figures. But I really enjoyed this movie, and I thought it was one of the best superhero films from this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Elijah?
So expectations wise, I had no idea about it. I didn't see a trailer. All I heard was that our Marvel friends who we watched like all of the movies with slid it in there, the conversation with Fantastic Four. They were like, this summer, 2 big superhero films, Superman
Yeah.
and Fantastic Four. So I expected them to kind of be on par with each other. Very good films.
Yeah.
And yeah, so how about you, Cristiano? Big Chungus himself.
Yeah. Well, Superman was the most highly anticipated film of the month for me, by far.
Yeah.
Superman's
Only
yeah,
the month?
Only the month. Only the month. Because from what I'm hearing is Avatar is coming out.
December,
yeah,
baby.
Yeah. So I mean, come
Avatar
on,
3.
you can't beat that. I'm sorry. If you can't tell by now, Superman is very clearly my favorite superhero.
Show 'em, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So
Start
I got
your
this.
stuff.
I actually brought this pop figure. Right. I was like, you know what? Let's get some stuff from Superman while we're at the mall. Right. Go ahead and set up for the movie.
That's brand new.
Brand new. I just got it.
Okay.
Yeah. I also got this when I went to the theater
That's cool.
downtown. Check this out. They gave this to me and they put the popcorn right through here. Check
Like
this out.
live?
Yeah,
They,
seriously.
like, there's
still
they
popcorn
put
in
it in
there?
here. Yeah, well, there might be a little
I
bit
see
of
a
kernels and
little
stuff.
Super
Check it out.
unsanitary for a germaphobe.
I just literally emptied it out, dude. I just dumped that thing and called it a day.
That's really cool.
But yeah,
That's
and when I
awesome.
pulled up, they also gave me, check this out, because it was like the opening night.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
what theater did this?
This was the AMC River Center one.
They
Alright,
printed
yeah.
out the movie for you?
They printed it out right there in front of me, actually. Yeah.
All right, guys.
That's cool.
We're
Yeah.
zooming all the way in because we're really excited to talk about Superman. We're bringing Cristiano on for this because Cristiano is pretty much the biggest Superman fan that I know. What's your history with Superman?
I grew up with Superman all my life. He's always been my favorite, right?
Yeah.
Day one, I had like the Superman action figures, all that little stuff. You know, when you're a kid, you're playing with toys, figurines, all that. Superman's always winning every day, every time. Superman, back to back to back. I'm running Superman. I'm picking that guy, playing
Yeah.
against my friends. Boom, Superman, all day.
I'm
That's
not
my
gonna lie,
guy.
that's kind of weird.
No,
It's like an unhealthy obsession.
Hear me out. Hey, it
Superman.
might be
He's
an
your
unhealthy
go-to.
obsession, but hey, I mean, what can
It
I
works.
say? Hey, you
Yeah.
like what you like, right? I
like
like
what you
Superman.
like.
Superman's my guy. Okay.
All right, I'm excited that we're all hyped here to talk Superman. For me, growing up, I didn't have the strongest relationship with Superman. We were actually on call talking about this, where it's like,
Without me?
yeah.
All right.
Like growing up, I was much more of a Batman guy. Like as far as DC goes, like I grew up with the MCU, but as far as DC goes, I had a stronger relationship with like the Nolan Batman films, and Superman didn't mean that much to me. So I remember when this one was announced, I was like, I'm in because James Gunn, and it's ushering in a new era for Warner Brothers and DC. But I didn't have the highest of highest expectations. What did get me to get really excited though was this man right here.
Oh.
Yeah, he called me after the movie. He was
Yeah?
like, Seth, this is gas.
Yeah. When did you see it?
I saw it July 10th, the day
Okay.
before it actually like its official release.
Yeah.
Oh,
date.
like a pre-screening?
No, it wasn't a pre-screening. They
Okay.
usually when
It was like
films
the night
release,
before.
they give they
Thursday
actually
night?
release the night before to like
Gotcha.
impact their
Yeah.
like releases or something like it helps their box office scores or something
Yeah.
for the weekend.
Yeah. Elijah, you don't have a super strong relationship with
No
Superman,
connection
right?
at all. I actually, like, I'm not gonna lie. Until a couple years ago, I didn't know who Superman was.
You're joking.
no,
No
I'm
shot.
serious. Yeah, because I was a big like Marvel person,
Yeah.
so I was aware of like Iron Man
When you
and all
say
them.
when you say you're a big Marvel person, you mean like the only movies you've seen period in your life are the Marvel movies?
Yeah, Marvel movies.
Well, Cristiano grew up with Superman. Seth grew up with Batman. What was yours?
Well, I was mainly MCU, but DC
Oh,
related
okay.
Batman. Yeah,
Mhm.
go
Probably
ahead.
like My Little Pony,
all right.
that type of thing.
Yeah,
But,
Pretty accurate,
yeah,
buddy. Mhm.
I didn't know who Superman was until like a couple years ago.
This guy's
Then-
really clip farming right now.
I saw-
I didn't know who
Crazy.
Superman was.
Dude,
yeah,
that's
sure, buddy.
crazy.
Bro lived on an asteroid for
I
20
feel
years.
targeted right now. And I've only seen a few DC films. I have not seen any of the Batmans. I've seen like some of the like crappy like the Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
not the James Gunn one, the other one. and I've seen the Flash films and some.
Wait, you saw the Flash?
Yeah, both of them.
Dude.
Well, because it came out in 2022 and 2023.
That's crazy. What do you?
Okay.
What?
Such a weird
So,
pick.
Am I crazy for saying it? Might just be me, but like I think Superman is easily the most iconic
That's
superhero
like-
in all of this.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree.
he's obviously my favorite, but right? I mean, I feel
Yes.
like everyone can agree.
I see that now.
I think this is funny because we're getting a healthy diversity of perspectives. here.
Yeah, real
Yeah.
diversity.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like well rounded in movie stuff, right?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Cristiano's he's a Superman guy. He's our Superman ambassador for today. All right. And then we have Elijah who's like, who's Superman?
I just learned about this from the movie.
Superman. I just called. I just called
New
Sam.
nickname? Sam's Mr. Superman. Show us your cape, buddy.
That means something else when you're talking to Elijah. Sam,
Superman is in the building.
I like how we're missing the soundboard because I left my laptop at home.
problem.
And you're just gonna have to do it with your voice.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
That's
Sam,
okay.
what's your relationship with Superman?
With Superman, I have a big relationship with Superman. I was more of a
Big one.
I was more of a Spider-Man.
you knew him
kid.
personally?
Yeah, yeah. He came to my house.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
I dressed up as Spider-Man as a kid, so I was more of a Marvel kind of guy. But with Superman, I didn't really get into him until I started like watching the whole DC universe with like the cartoons in like middle school, right? So that's probably where I first started, but nothing like too attached.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching like the Zack Snyder Superman films, and obviously those were super divisive, and we could get into how this fares with those. But those films, like, given how rocky they were, I was just like Superman's cool, but I mean, like, even the Guardians of the Galaxy films were wiping these Superman films, at least to me.
Right.
Before, quick question. Sorry to interrupt. Before
Yeah.
this movie, were any of the Superman films like well respected?
Man of Steel?
No,
No,
they
not
weren't.
really, right?
None of them.
Not at all.
Yeah,
So it's interesting to me that he's like the most iconic superhero, but without like a good movie. But I'm sure it's from the comics, right?
Comics.
Is that why he's iconic?
So
shows.
I think he's iconic because he's the foundation for all superheroes. Superman was like
Like
is
one of the first ones.
No, he is the first super. Like he is that guy. When you think comic book superheroes, Superman was like the first to like really come to life.
Gotcha.
He wasn't the first comic book superhero, but he was the first to like really take off and make.
Gotcha.
That's kind of where comic book heroes kind of like exploded from that.
Okay.
Cristiano has an erection right now just talking about this.
Yeah, let's pan the camera up real quick.
No, I'm kidding. But
Sorry for this.
at least for the past decade, the story with the Superman stuff, just filling in Elijah here.
Yeah, thank you.
2012 Man of Steel.
2012?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
That's the same year that the Avengers came out.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers was trying to catch up with this.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
No, that's I didn't know they both came out in the same year.
Yeah. Man of Steel came out 2012, and this is Warner Brothers, like, beginning their universe. It later became coined as the DC Extended Universe. So we have
Yes.
Man of Steel, and you know that you are aware that there are a bunch of DC films that exist in the DCEU, right?
Yeah.
Throughout this past decade.
Yeah.
We'll stick with the Superman ones for now. There's like a so-called like trilogy of Superman films directed by Zack Snyder.
Okay.
Man of Steel is the only solo one from Warner Brothers.
Okay. Who directed Man of Steel?
Zack Snyder.
So he did a trilogy and then Man of Steel?
What I mean is like Man of Steel's the first in this quote unquote trilogy, and I say quote unquote because the second one is Batman v Superman,
Gotcha.
and that one, like Man of Steel was divisive. BVS was like slandered across the internet, like it was hated. And then Justice League came out,
Okay.
and that's like
I think I saw that.
capping that trilogy of following like a Superman arc with Henry Cavill.
Gotcha.
And do you know the history about Justice League kind of getting taken away from Zack Snyder?
No.
So, Zack Snyder's listed as the director of the original Justice League, right? But Joss Whedon, the director of the Avengers, came in to patch up that film.
Really?
And
Okay.
if you see like tonally, that film is brighter, funnier, very MCU-esque. And then that movie bombed as well.
I see.
In 2021, we had the Snyder Cut. Did you hear about this?
I've heard about it.
Yeah, where we got the 4-hour like Zack Snyder,
Snyder,
original
okay.
vision of Superman, and this is all. This has been our relationship with Superman leading up to this. So, given how Cristiano was talking about how this is like the superhero of superheroes, this movie means a lot to people because this is the reset button. Like this is a new
Gotcha.
Superman. We just had this, like, I guess a lot of fans would say that this is like hell, or like their favorite characters like
definitely.
taking all
Yeah, yeah.
right.
I mean, okay, Henry Cavill, he's a great actor. No,
Uh-huh.
no hate to Henry. I loved him. I think he's a great Superman, and I think he is a great actor.
Yeah.
I think he plays the role really well. I think he looks the part. He's great. I mean, I think the issue with it for me was just how like I get it. DC is dark, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to stick to that tone. They've got their Batman thing going for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where this stems from with this Superman. They're like, all right, we're DC. We got Batman. It's doing well. Let's kind of keep this Superman in the same realm, right? Just didn't work out because that's not what Superman is. That's not what he's about. And anyone that knows Superman knows that he is like he's the
He's a beacon of hope.
yeah,
Beacon of
exactly.
light.
His symbol quite literally stands for hope, right? And so when you start making that dark and just like bringing that Batman kind of theme to it, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and this is where Christopher Nolan is kind of hovering over all of this discourse, is because with the success of the Dark Knight trilogy, I mean, they marketed the Man of Steel film with Christopher Nolan as a producer, and even tonally, like this film is trying to take itself just as seriously as those films. Those films made by Christopher Nolan, very well respected, even outside of comic book fans. Like people are just like, these are good movies, right? And they're trying to follow in that kind of lineage. And I guess the conflict there is like, does it work with the Superman character? So just sort of leading now into the movie that we're going to talk about today, Superman 2025, or Superman Legacy is what it was originally called. We're picking up the ashes or the remnants of this shattered DC universe where people are like, this sucks. And Warner Brothers has hit the reset button. James Gunn has switched from Marvel to DC. He's now hired as the co-CEO and co-chair of DC Studios. So they're making a whole new universe, DCU.
So let me jump in here real quick.
Yeah.
What happened with that? Why is James Gunn now working with DC and not Marvel?
I mean, I'll call him up later into the episode, but I'm just kidding. I know I'm struggling to recall, but I know that there was an issue where, unironically, I think he was fired from an old tweet.
Tweets, yeah. They
Really?
were. I'd researched it before because I was
Yeah.
interested because I had that same question because I knew James Gunn was a Marvel guy.
Yeah, he was doing
And
great.
it was
He was
just
working with Marvel Studios.
resurfaced old tweets where he like said bad things.
Really?
Yeah, and then he got fired from Guardians 3, but then hired back on.
Oh shoot.
And but then after that movie, then he went over to DC.
Okay.
Yeah. So that kind of him transferring, being like a Marvel alumni, and frankly, creating some of the best stuff that they've ever released.
Oh yeah.
And then being let go by Disney and then transferring to the rival studio and becoming the head. And to me, he's essentially what Kevin Feige is at Marvel. Do you know who Kevin Feige is? Yeah.
I have no idea.
Kevin Feige is the head producer. He like oversees all the projects at Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the guy that's orchestrating. He's the visionary of the MCU.
Right.
He's often credited for the shared universe
Okay.
of the MCU. James Gunn now is the co-CEO, co-chair. After doing his work with the MCU, doing the Suicide Squad, now he's the head of the rival company. And he was deciding of whether or not he was actually going to direct this one himself. Because he's the co-CEO. Like he's overseeing all this stuff. Like you know how the MCU is organized in phases? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 makes up the Infinity Saga. He announced Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, begins with this film. And that's the new first like era for the DC universe. And he's heading all that. Him directing this film, how did we feel about him being at the helm? Did y'all have strong opinions on that?
Personally, I loved it. Not that I've seen that much of the DC stuff before this.
Yeah.
But it felt like it had new life to it. Almost like we talked about how Thunderbolts like felt like something new in Marvel after just a ton of terrible movies. This felt like a new breath of life into DC. So I really liked it. I could tell the tone was like so different than even the Marvel crappy stuff that's been coming out recently.
Did you have a strong opinion about James Gunn taking over this one?
Yeah, I actually think it was a really great choice as far as directors are concerned, especially for someone like Superman. I mean, I don't think they could have picked someone better. I think this was great.
So yeah, I had no idea he was directing this, but he did a great job, and it was definitely like a brighter tone, and I didn't feel like that whole DC dark.
Yeah, it's clearly like they're completely turning the page over. Yeah, this could not be more different from Man of Steel. Where Man of Steel and the story of Zack Snyder's realism and like brute force comic book filmmaking, this is like the purest form of comic book adaptation that we could see. Like we got the undies back, and every single costume, every single character is as goofy as we've ever seen superheroes portrayed on screen. Do y'all agree with that?
Yeah, I feel like, and he clearly did that on purpose, right? I mean, he even in the writing, you can see that they were talking about how goofy looking Green Lantern was. and then
For
they
sure.
were like cracking jokes about this guy. But I think it's great. I think it was a great idea. Honestly, I liked it.
Did those choices shock you at all, Elijah?
Which ones?
As far as like how comic booky this is?
Not at all.
Oh,
No.
really? It didn't shock you?
No, because I mean, like for me, like looking at all the Marvel stuff, it just feels like Marvel.
To me, this is like way cheesier and way.
You think
goofier.
so?
Yeah. This is like, I don't think Marvel has ever had another movie where it had like an onslaught of characters that are as weird as the ones in this one, like Rex, and then like how the Justice Gang is portrayed. Like they're
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Justice Gang, good point. That was like
Right.
very like
They're
absurd.
they're out there.
Yeah,
for
this
sure.
this movie is really absurd.
But I mean, keep in mind we're watching a blue alien fly around in underwear in
Exactly.
the sky. You know, I mean, like it can
Pretty
only
much.
get so much weirder.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember when it was announced that James Gunn was directing this. My first thought was, it's like let's look at his track record. He did the Guardians trilogy, and he did
Bangers.
the Suicide Squad. Right. These are quirky, offbeat team up movies about like characters that are like anti-heroes or like not necessarily like morally, they're like morally questionable.
Yeah.
Right. And Superman to me is like the complete opposite. This movie's gonna revolve around one singular, like what we're saying, like beacon of hope, and he's like the most traditional hero. Like I wouldn't put Star-Lord, Rocket, or Harley Quinn in this category.
Yeah.
Right. Like the characters that he's worked with before don't reflect Superman at all. So I was like, how is this tone gonna work? And I feel like he really nailed doing both like traditional lean into the goofy comic book movie while also doing the James Gunn thing where there's just like a huge gallery of side characters that have like a line and a goofy costume and you just love them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. How did we feel about that?
Yep, it was a pretty good portrayal of it, of the American-made original superhero.
Right? It's
Yeah.
so comic book. Comic book.
And like they mentioned this, it's like a portrayal of the strongest character. Like they said that at the beginning, strongest metahuman. He claimed himself to be Superman, right?
Yeah.
So I think they did a really great job at that. But at the same time, they didn't make him like just clear everything. Like throughout the whole movie, you see him struggle a bit, right?
Yeah, that's
like,
definitely another. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't just one shot everything and take care of everything. So I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was very intentional because we saw with the last Superman, he was just no one could relate to this guy. They were like,
Yeah.
who's beating Superman? We had the whole Justice League fighting this man, and
Yeah.
I mean, like, what are you gonna do? And I feel like that really took a hit for Superman fans. I mean, they were like, okay, well, like, how am I supposed to like someone that like is just that goated? Like, it at some point, it's just like, okay, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
showing a shift in the philosophy is with James Gunn at the helm instead
Yeah.
of Zack Snyder directing the character. Is like when I think of the DCEU, I like to think in context with the MCU is that they see these heroes having powers as a curse. Like it's a curse for all these characters. If you think about how they plague the heroes in the DCEU, like Superman having all this power is a curse, Batman, it's a curse. And with the MCU, it's like a gift, right? And you're seeing how in the MCU, there's this optimism of like the character has their powers and now they're like a normal person who has been elevated to a place where they can make change. Whereas the DCEU is the opposite. And I feel like James Gunn's kind of like re-injecting that kind of optimism into Superman where he's bringing him down and we'll get to it in the end, but he's exclaiming about like being a human, which is the exact opposite compared to the Titans that Zack Snyder portrays.
The gods.
Yeah, the gods. So I think that's a really cool shift to see DC. And I if you told me that 10 years ago that this is what a Superman movie would look like, I would have been like, whoa, we're really shifted big time.
What
You know
fan
I mean?
made is this?
All right, so we've talked about kind of prefacing going into it. Y'all want to can y'all give me like your general thoughts on the movie? Like, did you like it? What were y'all's favorite thoughts about it? Just go into it.
Wait,
Elijah?
without spoilers or with spoilers?
You can choose.
Spoiler.
1, 2,
Oh,
3.
Spoilers! Go into it.
So it's funny for me. What stood out to me above all of the stuff that you said about like corny costumes and like a return to like a more stereotypical Superman, for me it was the performances of people that weren't like the suit.
I agree. Go
That
ahead.
to me was like the most impressive thing by far because normally in comic book movies everything is like terrible in terms of
yeah, like all the side ones.
performances that are
Mr.
like, not
Terrific, he did
Superman's.
great.
Yeah.
he was awesome.
Everybody like that was an actor, not a superhero, like blew me away. I was amazed by the high level of
Oh,
performances.
okay. Like the news reporters and all those.
All them, yeah.
Okay.
So like this, I'm just gonna say their names as I know them because
Yeah,
I'm
go
terrible
ahead.
with names in movies. So like his romantic interest, like she blew me
Lois
away.
Lane.
Lois Lane.
Listen, he
Her?
just learned about Superman. All right.
That's like walking into a church and be like, "What is her name? Mother Mary?"
So her, and then the top guy at the company who is
Lex
Lex
Luthor,
Luthor.
yeah, dude, that guy is
That's crazy.
aka Elon Musk in this movie.
Elon Musk. I thought he did like so good, and I love him from The Menu and Rimland. Wait, what's that one? The green one. You remember what I'm talking about?
The green one.
Yeah.
What?
Uh,
The Green Lantern? You're talking
no,
about-
I
I don't know. He
Yeah.
looked very familiar though. I can't
Nicholas
remember.
Hoult. My favorite role
Yeah,
from him
and it
is
is,
okay.
his role in Mad Max Fury Road.
Yes,
as
yeah,
Hux.
there you go too. Yeah, he's great. So basically, all those performances really shocked me and surprised me. I liked the happy tone of it, and I liked those performances. Those are the biggest things that stood out to me.
Can we go? We'll do Cristiano after Sam because I like the Cristiano super fan effect. Sam, what were your thoughts?
About the whole movie in general.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I like how it didn't because we already know the Superman story. You know, started on a farm,
point.
grew up. They started like 3 years later. Love that. We don't have to hear the same story 10 times over again. Yeah. So
You really said in the video, you don't need that.
so I
The opening was super cool.
It was,
I really liked
yeah.
that.
And I also, you know what, since we're already in spoilers, I like the antagonist, right? And how the reveal was that, you know, it was just him pretty
Yeah.
much. So,
All right, Cristiano, general thoughts before we dive in, like sort of scene by scene.
I loved the movie. I think it was great. I'm really happy that we finally got a new Superman, and I feel like we actually did him justice this time. And I'm hoping that we can finally get some more Superman fans out there because we were dwindling real quick with those Snyder
Were you
films.
feeling that?
I was feeling it.
He said it's tough out
I
here in
was
the
like,
streets.
if this movie didn't hit, I don't know how Superman was going.
I feel like it would have broken you.
It would have been bad for
crying.
sure. It'd be tough, but no, I just I love this film. I've been waiting since Man of Steel for another Superman movie, and we've been needing one of these for the longest time.
Yeah.
So finally getting another Superman individual movie was just like, oh my god, like this is happening, you know. And then hearing that James Gunn was the director of this. Keep in mind, I don't know directors, so
Yeah.
I looked this man up. I was like, who? Right? I mean, shoot. I don't. This guy taught me who Christopher Nolan was. So I mean, shoot, like that's where we're going from this, right?
Uh-huh.
So I look up this guy and I see his track record, and I'm like, okay, all right, now we're getting somewhere, right? And
All bangers.
there's obviously a lot of controversy with that. We see all the as I was talking to you before the pod. There's a lot of Snyder writers out there, and
The Snyder writers, you heard it here first.
You got the Snyder writers, and
Snyder
they were dunking on this movie. They're like, this is
Really?
yeah, because I mean, they're like, if it's not Snyder, you know, like what are you gonna like? It's not. They don't like it.
I know
Just
you're
say
not
no.
in like the comic book discourse
I'm not.
corner of the internet.
How
but,
did
like,
you know?
You'd be surprised, like as far as like the Snyder versus the world. Like
Really?
there's some worshipers out there.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, Sam is one of
ride or
them.
die. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Superman himself
But
over there.
I really wanted to just like analyze this movie because I'm not a director guy, so I was like, just
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the movie for what it is.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, is this a good movie or is it not? I like Superman. I'm walking in here with high expectations. I think it met those expectations,
Yeah.
and I hope it meets the rest for everyone else. So
Yeah.
I think it's a movie worth watching.
All right,
For sure.
Cristiano has been anticipating my thoughts on this because we talked about it extensively.
I have no idea what
Before
he
the
thinks
pod?
of the film. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
like,
he
y'all
was
didn't
telling-
talk
yeah,
about
Like
yeah.
he talked about
Good,
what
good.
his thoughts were.
Oh, dude, I couldn't hold
Gotcha.
it in. I was like, dude, this is
you
great.
gotta get it out.
It's great.
Yeah. So I clocked out of work. Expectations were high.
Okay.
It was a packed theater,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I feel that classic electricity whenever
Yeah.
I'm watching a movie that feels important. Like in my personal perspective of my life, Superman's not huge.
Yeah.
But when I walk into that theater, I could just feel like this is something that means something. You
It's
know what I mean?
opening weekend too, right?
Yeah, it's the first Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie coming out,
And
and
great
I
experience.
I feel one of my favorite like feelings, like just in general, of just like I'm about to watch something that at least means something.
Yeah.
And I remember in the opening, the first line that Superman says is, "What the hey, dude?" And for a split second, I questioned myself. I said, "Will I enjoy this film when this god has said, 'What the hey, dude'?" And I'll tell you this, boys, James Gunn has done it again. James Gunn has done it again.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's go, boys!
Let me tell you something, okay? James Gunn has done it again. He is cooked for the nth time in his career. I'll tell you this. I don't think this film is perfect. We'll get into issues later down into the pod. I have some minor issues with pacing and some stuff in the script that I think could have been like less rocky.
Right. Well, she's wrong, by the way, but
But overall,
Very dog.
I think this is an incredibly successful comic book film. I like how it fits as far as like us entering a new age, because I feel like for the past several years, the story has been we are done with these movies. And I like how in his kind of press tour, James Gunn is like, I actually don't believe in superhero fatigue. I believe that people are tired of mediocre movies. I think there's mediocre movie fatigue. And I'm like, okay, maybe maybe he's right. And damn, was this movie good? I'm giving this a strong 8 out of 10 for me. We'll get it. Let's continue to deep dive. I gotta say, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor stole the show for me.
He's such a good actor.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never seen him in a role that I don't like. Yeah, he's great.
I was telling Christiano, like, out of the cast, I already love Nicholas Hoult a lot. I think he's weirdly like one of the funniest actors in Hollywood for no reason, because people don't really think of him as a comedic performer.
Yeah.
But I think he is very good at irony, and that kind of works well with Lex Luthor in that like he brings such gravitas to this character, but you're also not surprised when he's crumbling crying at the end of the film. You know what I mean?
So for everyone watching, go ahead and give some explanations on what roles has he played.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah. So like Elijah mentioned, this is one of Elijah's favorite films, The Menu. Have you heard of The Menu?
Oh, no.
It's a satirical
you
film.
Menu.
It's a satirical.
Superman in it.
It has Lex Luthor in it. It's a satirical film about cooking, and the character that he plays is like a fanatic of this chef, but he can't cook to save his life. And the chef, at one point in the movie, makes him cook, and he's just like fumbling in the kitchen, and he's like, "Oh, that's a new method," right? And
Good old Ray Fine.
yeah, and Nicholas Hoult is good at playing characters that are like kind of clueless, like Hux in Mad Max Fury Road. It's like a post-apocalyptic film. He plays this guy that like worships like the dictator of this wasteland, and he's just a fumbling idiot, right? So seeing his look, I'm like, oh, he could play Lex Luthor for sure. But injecting a little bit of that into this character, I felt like was gonna be cool, given how goofy the movie is. And I like how like his screaming and his like really like the dark tone in his eyes, and him like aura farming while they're raiding the ice castle.
Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, this is like you know what I mean? Like I really felt that this is one of the strongest villains I've watched. So he was easily my favorite character, and the ensemble of random characters surrounding him, so many surprises. Mr. Terrific, I didn't know this dude was gonna be in the movie for that long.
Yeah,
he was awesome.
The fight scene was insane. Yeah, it was great.
That's my
the
favorite
balls.
scene of the
That
whole
was
film.
awesome.
Yeah, that was classic James Gunn of like the one shot, like kind of camera swooping around, really cool, and stuff like characters like Rex, the guy that can morph into anything.
Yeah.
I thought he was
Banger.
awesome, right? So
Yeah.
it has the James Gunn flourishes that just made this work. So I really, really love this.
So I think talking about Holt, we can kind of move into like the actual acting part. Like speaking of Superman and Lex Luthor,
Yeah.
they both auditioned for the same role. They both
Nice
auditioned for Superman.
Nice for bringing that
They
up.
both
Yeah.
auditioned for Superman?
Yeah, they both
Okay.
auditioned for Superman,
Yeah.
and so that actually what's crazy, but like I feel like that makes him a better Lex Luthor.
That was real hate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was like, this guy took my role.
I feel like white guys are
Like,
back.
That's
We're-
actually a
we're
good point. I
messing
didn't
him
think
up.
about that.
yeah,
White guys are back.
Like Nicholas Hoult, like maybe you could like inject that, like, yeah, I got this role from you. And the whole point of
Yeah.
Lex Luthor in the movie is like envy.
yeah,
Yeah.
How he's the talk
exactly.
of the town.
Like Lex
Yeah.
Luthor is his number one hater. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And he played that really well.
Like David Cornza right now is the talk of, like, he's on top of the world right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
right? Like on top of the world. And Nicholas Holt's like, that could have been me,
Yeah.
but I'm right here,
Yeah.
and I'm being forgotten.
Exactly.
I'm great, and he's the more popular actor.
Mhm.
I think we got to actually see that kind of come out in his
yeah.
acting. Like I think he was really harnessing that. No, I'm
And Nicholas
serious.
Hoult has like a raging hate towards
Dude,
David.
I mean,
Cornza.
he was okay. So I did a little bit of research on Holt,
Ooh,
and
he did his homework.
He apparently this guy has been gypped back to back to back on like applying for roles, and he's just like getting like right there. He's right there for like 3-4 different films. Just boom,
Uh-huh.
and then
lost. Yeah, every time, every
Hmm.
time. And this time he got his chance to kind of slip into a really major role fighting Superman.
Yeah.
He didn't get the Superman role, but I'm glad they gave him Lex
I mean,
Luthor.
this is his biggest mainstream role, because
Yeah, yeah.
all his other characters, like for example, Hux, like that's an original character in Mad Max Fury Road, right? So this is easily like the biggest landing he's ever had.
It's huge. When I saw him on screen, I was like, oh yeah, I'm really excited for this.
Dude, he's awesome.
He's great.
When I saw him pacing around the table at the defense meeting, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, we're in.
Dude,
Okay, I have a hot take.
go ahead.
no,
Go
first.
ahead.
Okay. So I'm glad that he did the role that he did, and the other guy, the Superman guy, got that role.
Cornsway.
But I was not very impressed with the
Cornswet?
guy. Yeah, with him.
With Superman?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that could just be because like I don't have a connection to Superman, but I wasn't crazy about him.
Yeah. Okay. To me, I thought that what he did well in contrast to Cavill was that he feels like, as far as all the points where he's like lashing out or like about to cry and all this stuff, like he injects like a nice softness to Superman that hasn't been seen in a decade.
A homey, welcomey feeling.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Mhm.
Like when Superman, like this Superman hugs another character, it doesn't look weird. Like when Henry Cavill, like, and I guess it's not the point of the character.
Yeah.
But like when Henry Cavill saves a human, I don't imagine it as like a loving act. I see it as like a god swooping in and changing the course of this person's life. When I see David Cornswet save someone, I'm like, oh, he's a loving and caring person that just wants to be good.
Sure.
It's two completely different ideas.
They put in him saving that squirrel
Yeah.
to like really emphasize.
Yeah.
It was. I'll be honest. It was
kind of
a
over
little,
the top.
It was a
Yeah.
little corny for me, but I really like that it kind of brought out like, hey, this is what Superman's about. You know, like he's here for he's here. He's a symbol for hope, right? And he's saving everything and everyone if he can.
Speaking of which, we got a lot of saving like citizens, people scenes, which I really enjoy in like superhero movies because a lot of the times I feel like recent ones they don't focus on it as much.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got a lot of those.
Yeah.
This movie did feel like the Avengers in that way, and like it's a battle, even with the big tower of Lexicor. Like immediately, I'm thinking like Stark Tower, the way that it looks, and the fact that it's in like a big city and they're saving civilians and they're battling big monsters. This did feel like a return to that.
It just feels like a comic book movie. Like it's a return to like this is what it's all about. And it's a good like I think this film in like when we look back at like the whole timeline of comic book movies wherever we're at in like 2050 or 2070, this will be remembered as like a big moment, as like hitting the reset button of like after especially Warner Brothers going through this like huge like shattered puzzle of just like what like people are looking at this universe and we're like, what is going on? like this this Joker is in the universe and this one isn't, and this Batman is and that one isn't, and then this movie that movie doesn't count anymore. Okay, we're just gonna redo it, right? Like it's a ridiculous like timeline of movies, and I feel like this will be remembered as like, okay, we're turning the ship and we're sailing towards a destination now because this is what it's all about.
To the point of what you're saying, I've always heard that DC is crap. Because of stuff like what you're saying, like it's confusing what's going on. So this did feel like a breath of fresh air.
Like I think it's it's probably the most mismanaged franchise of the 2010s. Like if the MCU is the miracle of the 2010s and what like will be remembered in terms of like what changed cinema in the 2010s, MCU will be remembered as a miracle. It will never be done again.
Yeah.
The DCE will be like remembered as like who the hell took charge of this, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like James Gunn coming in from Marvel and taking this is like it is a beacon of hope of like maybe these movies, and we say this after every movie, but like maybe these movies can be good, right? Like that's to me that's what it stands for, because, and this is me kind of really stretching the meaning of the film, but I thought it was funny how the villain, like James Gunn makes a movie about how the villain is a corporate overlord whose solution to his problems is to make a clone of what people love. And to me, that, at least to me, it was signaling like, okay, we're just doing the same thing over and over again, and we just have to like beat that and stop doing that. At least to me.
Ultraman, right? That's what.
Yeah, Ultraman.
I like them. Even though, actually, one thing, since we're already in spoilers, was he conscious? Do you guys think?
I think he was like kind of like a robot. Or like
I'm trying not to
organic
say
robot?
anything. He was.
What?
No, I was gonna say some sketchy stuff here.
No.
What do you mean?
He explained in the film that he was just dumb.
Yeah,
was
right.
dumb.
Oh,
He's
he
dumb.
just like me for real.
Yeah, he just straight up said he was dumb. I mean, it was
see.
He definitely didn't have his own decision making.
Something else might have been going on there. Quite frankly, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Well, 'cause
Bro
at the-
opened up a pocket dimension. So like, I mean, you know, like, there's a lot of things. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. But at the end, you know, he's not getting commands anymore. You know how Lex Luthor was screaming 10A, 8, you know,
Yeah.
I love that whole thing. Anyways, though, but at the end, he just charged Superman.
Well, I think
like,
it's like
no
it has a
direction.
programming.
Okay.
Like it's like it has a
target him.
job. Yeah.
All right.
So
That makes sense.
speaking of Ultraman, I know a lot of people were having conspiracies that Ultraman might have been Henry Cavill, and that might have been his.
That would have been cool.
And that's
crazy.
that's what I was praying on. That's how they get rid of that character. Like that's showing like the end of that chapter and opening a new one with this new Superman, because we saw an evil version of Superman in Snyder's cut. Right, and so I was like, well, this would be a really cool way to kind of just get rid of the character. All the Cavill Snyder fans might, look at the little piece in there, right?
I actually have to
That'd be
disagree
like
with you.
Okay.
I actually kind of like how this is a completely fresh, like rip the Band-Aid, let's leave the past behind. But like a part of me too is just kind of like, I just want to see Henry Cavill in the movie.
I mean,
You guys both
I wanted to
mentioned
see
the
him.
Snyder cut. Did both of y'all watch it?
I've seen it.
And
I don't
you said
think
it's
I
4.
don't think I've seen it.
Okay.
I genuinely don't think I've seen the
You said
Snyder
it's
cut.
4
Big fan.
hours long.
It's 4 hours long.
And is it a cut from the making of is it from the Man of Steel stuff
So-
or before that?
So I won't get like all the way into it, but
Yeah.
essentially like he made Man of Steel.
Yeah.
He made BVS like a few years later.
He
Then-
made what? Sorry.
BVS, Batman v Superman.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Then he made Justice League, and I remember how earlier in the pod I
Yeah.
explained to you how just Joss Whedon kind of like took over.
Yeah.
It was because his daughter died, and it's just the whole production issues,
I see.
right? And then he came away from the project.
Uh-huh.
The Justice League, that's listed under his name, but really Joss Whedon's,
Yeah.
came out terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Christopher Nolan actually consoled Zack Snyder, and he was like, "Don't watch it."
Really?
Yeah. And then it becomes this. There's this uproar in the internet of like, we want the
Snyder's.
Snyder cut.
Mhm.
So when I say the Snyder cut 2021, it's his version of the Justice League.
Gotcha.
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. People's hearts and souls are in these projects. Like people
Yeah.
care about this stuff.
He does get a pass. Like if his daughter died, I feel like it's
And I'm saying this like
People
I just
online
remember
don't
that
care.
like someone named Aurora close to him died. Like I remember the
yeah.
name, but I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's the daughter.
Sure. Someone related. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, and unrelated, but like also Joss Whedon. You know who Joss Whedon is? Director of the Avengers.
I've heard of his name.
yeah, he directed the Avengers and Age of Ultron.
Okay. Yeah.
And then also like even more disastrously is
Mm-hmm.
like I think he was accused with like treating the actors really uncomfortably
Really?
on set.
Oh,
yeah, stuff
Really?
like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So can we dig into the tweets that he said?
just
I'm just joking.
just completely derail the pod. All right, let's jump into the opening. I thought something that was cool and a huge contrast again is like the very first thing that we see Superman is that he's defeated on the ground and his dog is like dragging him.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was like a cool way to insert the image of Superman to begin with because it's like kind of shattering our expectations of a Superman. How did you feel about that opening?
Honestly, I felt conflicted about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was actually one of the few scenes that I was like, I don't know how to feel. And I feel like maybe I'm not alone here, or maybe I am, but I don't know. It was just, I guess, unnatural to see
see him
Superman
like that, right?
in that state. And maybe I'm sure James Gunn has this thing, and maybe that's kind of just to like make him more relatable. Like everyone has their downfalls, even the most powerful heroes, right? And I think that might make people more fond of Superman. It was just, I guess, strange to see him in that state.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what the heck is going on right now, right? So I don't know.
Imagine you just
it's in
walked
the
out
air.
after that scene.
It's in the air for me. But I don't know. It was just 50-50.
Yeah. How do we feel? How do we feel about that as we move
I
along?
really enjoyed it because it was instantly starting the movie breath of fresh air. It's not Superman, being invincible. So you're hooked like what's happening to him. So I thought it was a good start.
Elijah?
Yeah. I mean, I had like I said, I have no connection to it, so I thought
that's
it was
right.
a cool opening,
Mhm.
just like you're saying to.
Oh,
give-
Elijah was
give
like,
some
man,
context."
this guy's getting his ass kicked. Like,
Yeah, this guy sucks. Superman. All right.
Christiano, how did you feel about the portrayal of Superman, like as the movie progressed overall, like just as a Superman fan, like in general?
I think it was great. I think,
Yeah.
I think he, I don't know. I think he did a great job of just like showing that he cared. I think his personality and who Superman is and what he stands for, which is obviously hope.
Yeah.
I think he really brought that out in this film. And I think we just hadn't got that for a fat minute. So
For 5 minutes.
I don't know. Like, I liked it.
yeah, he puts all his reasoning like to just wanting to help people.
Yeah.
And like he just doesn't want to see anybody like die.
Exactly, and I mean, like even going down to like there's this one scene where this lady's driving on the bridge and this giant building from Metropolis is falling over and about to hit her. Superman comes in, he saves the day, carries the building, she's able to drive out, and this is I mean, what's wild is that in Snyder's version,
Yeah.
we have like hundreds of we have thousands of people dying in Metropolis, and this guy's going for this.
There are like a dozen 9/11s happening.
It's insane,
And they just
this
brush over it.
Superman sees one person, and he's like, "We're gonna save her." I'm going in. We're making this happen.
One person, one
And
dog, one
I
squirrel.
loved seeing that. I think it was great because that's what we needed.
I remember Elijah was watching the squirrel scene. He was like, "What a wuss."
Yeah, that's girl scene. The rest of it was dope though. The rest of it was dope.
But they really try to make him more human, and he even states at the end, I'm human. That's like the best
yeah,
part about it.
I have to say, I loved that monologue at the end.
Oh, at the end, yeah.
That was the most personal connection I felt with him. I don't mean to knock his performance. It was good. I felt like it was bland, meaning I didn't get very much emotion from him until that monologue. The monologue, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I feel it now.
Okay.
But up until then, I know you guys are saying you felt like he did a good job of conveying the hope and all that, and I think that's good. I just didn't feel an emotional connection.
I guess the context is it's funny that you're saying that because actually I think to me it's very apparent that he's way more expressive than the previous Superman. For example, the opening scene, he's hurt, blood coming out of his mouth. You didn't see that once in the previous Superman, right? And then moving on, him struggling in combat, getting beat. Moving on, him saying lines what does he say? Eyes up here,
yeah.
and then bolts.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill doesn't have lines like that. That's
I
very
see.
comic booky.
Yeah.
That's very expressive. Superman having funny lines, right? There's a huge range of emotions that he's tapping into that we're just not used to. With a character that we see is super stoic and cold and perfect.
I'll be interested to watch the other ones and see how they compare because I've never seen him, but it's not. You guys are painting it out in a very interesting way.
He is literally a god.
I'll check it out. Yeah.
So this Superman is actually incredibly vibrant compared to the last one. Very expressive.
Let's
to me.
not get it. I mean, Superman is very clearly in this film. It may not look it, but he's fighting himself. So we got to keep that into account. I mean, he's losing to another version of Superman that's got more brain power behind him. So it's not showing that he's weak in any means, but I think it's more relatable because he's getting defeated. And I think there's value to that.
Oh, it stated he was stronger too, right, Ultraman?
No. I don't think that. I don't remember him saying.
If
he was
Ultraman
stronger.
was stronger.
I heard that he was just behind him. Was that
Lex
true?
said he's stronger, better.
He said
Oh
he was
yeah, he was
stronger.
better in
but
every way.
he was downside though, he's dumb.
Yeah, he did say that.
I see. He was
Okay,
just
can we
dumb.
talk about that for a
Okay.
second though? I thought just moving into the action stuff, Lex Luthor calling out the letter and the number and letter combinations.
I love that.
To control all of his robots.
was dope.
One of the sickest fighting mechanics I've seen in any comic book film period. 1A.
Yeah.
Sick, dude.
Pounding that man on the ground. That was great.
It feels like an Xbox controller.
Mhm.
You're calling the shots, like Super Smash Bros. Almost.
Yeah, I thought it was incredibly creative on Gunn's part. Of I still you know how it's Lex Luthor doesn't fight Superman the whole movie, but he really is going head to head with Superman.
Yeah.
Brains over brawn. I love that. Him calling out the numbers. That's one of my favorite aspects of the film. Any other characters that stood out to you action wise?
Action wise,
Yeah.
I really like how they did a Green Lantern, right? And also I guess the whole Justice Gang, right?
I wasn't expecting that.
Me neither. I like the little comedic relief on the side. Even the background of a serious scene with Lois Lane and Superman, right? You just see them in the back fighting the.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
It's a serious scene with Superman and Lois Lane. People are cracking up in the background. How'd you feel about the Justice Gang, Christiano?
I think they were funny. I think that honestly, my favorite had to be.
It's terrific.
I think a lot of people are gonna say Mr. Terrific, but
Okay.
quite frankly, I'm pretty excited about Green Lantern.
Yeah, guy.
I think he was funny, dude.
He was hilarious.
I think he was great. I mean, I loved those scenes where he's flicking the car, he's giving them the finger, he's
Dude,
slapping
that
him
was one of my
aside.
biggest laughs in the movie.
Oh yeah.
It's a serious heroic moment.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting. He doesn't seem like a very good dude. I'm not expecting him to come in and save this country, right, against this army. Then he shows up and it's a heroic moment.
Yeah.
And then he's throwing up the middle finger. At them.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
It was very
And
funny.
the first thing he says is sorry, Superman was busy, but you got an upgrade. Yeah.
He's great.
He was so funny as a front man because he looks really dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
Apparently
with,
the haircut.
Apparently that was his
intentional.
idea.
Yeah.
I read that was
He's so funny.
Nathan Fillion's idea to have the bowl cut.
So is it possible that you were saying the Justice League, the movie that came out, right, was not very good, right?
It was
sucked.
terrible.
So is it possible that it's a commentary on that the characters sucking and the movie sucking?
Green Lantern wasn't in
wasn't.
the
How about the
Justice
other
League.
two?
No.
No,
they
Mr.
weren't.
Terrific and
None of
Hawkgirl.
them.
They
This is
were all-
actually
seen them.
it's very fresh.
for a lot of the a lot of the characters in this movie, it's their first ever appearance
DC.
in
The
like,
engineer. Yeah.
Okay.
on screen. Their first ever
Interesting.
on screen appearance. Like I'm
Okay.
pretty sure like Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, like this is their 1st time ever in a movie.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
The-
James Gunn is deep in his bag.
Interesting.
We
Yeah,
didn't
the
get much
Transformers.
of we didn't get much of Hot Girl though.
No.
She
No,
was just-
not at all.
We got like
She had
one.
two good moments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and at that they were mid. At
I mean,
best.
that is what they normally have.
Yeah.
I like
Two good moments.
I like the her dropping the president in the match cut. People
That's fun.
died laughing at that. Yeah. For me, additional to Lex Luthor, Mr. Terrific stole the show. Like the whole middle part of the film, he just stole the show.
Yeah.
Like all the mechanics of him with the like what is it? Those
The balls,
T
the
spheres?
orbs, flying balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and flying balls, his testicles just flying around.
It was great.
Yeah, dude, he killed it. Like I love when James Gunn just brings a ridiculous looking character that, in another director's hands, I'd be like, this is kind of goofy. Like,
It was
this is
so
cringe.
goofy, and especially in the first scene with Mr. Terrific. The
But
way he
he's
was
awesome.
sitting
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
I almost lost it.
And putting the tracker in everyone. He's like, oh yeah, I put a tracker in all my friends.
I feel like the scene where he puts the girl in the shield, Lois.
Yeah.
Lois Lane,
Man,
yeah.
girl.
that might have been like the one of the best action
Scenes.
scenes in a comic book movie that I've ever seen. I thought
Okay.
it was incredible. Also, the score like contributed to this movie so much. All the needle drops and all that was great.
I like what you say about that scene because at first, Mr. Terrific is pretty like he's begrudgingly helping Lois
Yeah.
Lane,
Right.
right? And then he shows up, and you haven't seen him like go off yet, right? You just kind of seen him like hanging back.
Yeah.
Then just like he drops the orb around Lois Lane and then just goes crazy for like 5 minutes. And, all right, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
no, what? Where did you have that? I was like, you don't know you had that in your bag. I was like, what? Because I've never seen this guy before.
Yeah,
James Gunn
he's-
knows that.
he's new.
And then he just shows like the most epic scene I've seen in like 5 years. It's just some
was
random
dope.
dude I've never
Yeah.
seen. Crazy. Man. So we went over Lex Luthor, Mr. Terrific. I feel like we're hitting a rhythm just going down the cast list.
Yeah.
Any other standouts?
I don't know the actor's name, but it was the other reporter that helped Lois Lane.
Dude,
He did
the
it
guy that
great.
played Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Which reporter?
The
The
one
guy
who
who talking with the girl.
talking with the girl
Okay,
had the
yeah,
crazy
yeah.
ex. Yeah,
Yeah, he's gas.
The
He's so
OnlyFans girlfriend.
Yeah, Eve. Her name is Eve, bro. Right? Am I tripping?
Yeah, no,
I don't
you're
know.
right.
I'm
No,
pretty
it
sure
is,
her
it
name
is.
was Eve. Yeah, that reminded me of somebody.
Oh man, that's so funny, dude.
The girlfriend was really funny. I like it whenever they showed the selfies and
Oh, yeah.
he thought it was like
Oh yeah.
that was so
Look,
dumb.
he's
Like, these are just selfies, but then they zoom in. And
I like
get
how
all
he's
that
like the
information.
first appearance of her is like the contact monster toes.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just cut
That's
so
hilarious.
Mutant toes.
Yeah, mutant toes. There you go.
I love how the guy was always like, or the girl Eve was like, so we can be together forever, and the
gosh.
guy was like, yeah.
One of my favorite things about this is that you're watching Superman, right? And he's getting beat up, and he's at like he's trying to operate at like 110%. Like in the pocket dimension, he's getting tortured by kryptonite, and he's still pushing forth. And then it cuts to the B plot, and Jimmy Olsen's like being asked for a date,
Yeah,
and the world is on the line.
yeah.
Like, oh, he has to say one word, yes, and he just can't muster the strength. I thought that contrast is so funny because then
was
you come
funny.
back,
The world's at stake, and he's like, I don't know.
oh, weekend. Like, brother, 3 days is a lot better than no days for the world. I'm like, come on, man, lock in.
That whole like news reporter cast team, like the head director, right? The weird like anxiety guy, right?
No, the guy like
Wait,
that's
which one?
bullying Clark Kent in the
Yeah,
beginning.
exactly.
When he
Oh, yeah.
walks in, he's being kind of rude.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think he's
yeah.
a sports guy. on the
Yeah.
crew.
Yeah.
There you go.
Backtracking a little bit, the scene early on with Clark Kent and Lois in the house.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
arguing.
can't believe we haven't talked about
Oh,
this.
we
yeah.
got like
Let's pivot
5
there.
minutes or 5 or 8 minutes of like really good dialogue and
Yeah.
performances. I was like, oh, this is a real movie. This doesn't feel like a comic book movie.
That was really
Yeah.
well written.
I
actually.
It was good
Loved that.
dialogue.
very
Yeah.
well written.
Yeah, I felt like that was a cool. Like, okay, like we open and it's the fight scene and it's introducing the conflict with Superman and Lex.
Yeah.
And then after we get home from the Daily Planet, it sits down and it's like, okay, but who is Superman? Like that's kind of like
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's James Gunn. Like, okay, you know who all the players. Now let's sit down and like let's actually like poke at this guy. Let's meet him.
It set things up in such a non like obvious way. Like we got the rundown of all that we needed to know with it being entertaining and engaging.
I'm gonna be honest. That scene with Lois and Clark at this point was my favorite part of the movie.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved it. I think it was so great.
The
to see-
interview. seemed pretty
Yes,
much,
the
yeah.
interview, in my opinion, was my favorite part. I loved it so much.
I like how it works in like a weird. It works on multiple levels because like she's interviewing him, but they're like also like
Talking personally.
talking
Yeah.
personally. Like there's
That's off the record.
layers around it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's different if like they go to a cafe and then like she hits the record button and they're talking, and it's also different if they're like on a date and he's expressing his feelings. James Gunn's kind of tapping into this weird in between state because there's this tension of Superman being Superman and also trying to be Clark Kent, and he like can't hold that together.
Yeah.
And I like how finally at the end of the film he just fuses them and they're one person. And you're right, it sets all those tensions up perfectly. Yeah. That was definitely great. I think the whole Daily Planet ensemble
Yeah.
was
Amazing.
perfect. I'm actually I'm anticipating that they're going to make a spin-off show from that.
You think so?
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Has DC done any shows?
Warner Brothers
Yeah.
has been doing spin-offs of everything. Like
Okay.
the Batman got the Penguin spin-off show.
Okay, I heard about that.
Dune got a spin-off show,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
What's it called? Everything's getting spin-offs. Game of
N-
Thrones.
nothing
got a spin-off.
nothing like DCU though. DCU.
Well, this
is
is
that what
this
you
is
call
the first in the DC.
Technically,
Are you asking
yeah,
about the DCEU?
it? Yeah, sure.
They have.
Sure. They have.
Actually directed by James Gunn.
Okay, wait, what's it? What is it?
I think it was who did John Cena play? The Peacemaker.
Oh, I heard
yeah.
about
Thanks.
that.
Yeah, Peacemaker.
Dude,
Yeah.
everyone was dying laughing in the theaters when that came out.
Oh yeah, John
Yeah.
Cena. John Cena
Somebody
cameo.
saw
I did
John
hear
Cena
about
for
that.
one side. That was great.
So that was the DCEU, and is this the DCU?
Yeah. So
Okay, so we're dealing with two different worlds here.
I kind of want to talk about that because technically, no.
Okay.
This has been kind of James Gunn's and I guess Warner Brothers' way of kind of coming to terms with the mess that they had.
Yeah.
Like, because if I'm a studio exec and I'm looking at this mess, I'm kind of like, I just kind of want to hit a bomb or like,
Yeah.
I just want to
Get
like
rid of
blow
it.
it up.
Blow it up.
That's not what they
AJ
did.
over.
project.
That's not the way they did. What they did. Obviously, the Snyder Cut is like one rehash that they did. The Suicide Squad with also James Gunn it's like a quote unquote reboot because it's a completely different film stylistically, and it's not Suicide Squad 2. It's not Suicide Squad, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just the Suicide Squad. So it is aware that it's kind of redoing the same movie,
Sure.
but it carries characters over from the original film. Like it still recognizes that film exists.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie's still playing the same Harley Quinn,
Mhm.
right? Viola Davis, I think the black
The black
woman director.
Yeah.
That's the same character.
No, I don't know actors or any of them.
Well, like they carry characters over from the previous
Yeah.
films, and that's one example. In I think it was the Flash film that they released. Like that's kind of like the whole multiverse stuff
Yeah.
that's hitting like a button of like we're shifting into a new era.
Into a new era, yeah.
So I guess James Gunn's philosophy with moving on from this mess is actually more of like a soft reboot of like we're gonna have these new characters, build this new aesthetic style, but we're also like slowly transitioning because John Cena's originated from the DCEU, but he exists in this universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Very interesting because I remember I watched those two films back to back, the Suicide Squad, the old one, and then the new one.
Yeah.
And I was like really confused because, like you're saying, Harley Quinn's in both.
Yeah.
But then like
New
the
characters
tones
that
are so different, and there's like characters that are all over the place. I remember being very confused, and that's when I like kind of decided in my mind that I'll never understand what's going on in the DCU.
So the idea is like
I
it's
just accepted the fact.
That's fair.
Which is
I'm
good.
lost.
Well, I mean, to be honest,
very
no
fair.
one understands what's
Yeah.
happening.
Okay, yeah.
But it's like a soft reboot. It's like
Yeah.
we're rebooting it, but wink, wink, we're not. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I think what James Gunn is actually saying is like, I'm just gonna pick and choose the pieces that I like.
sure.
Right? It's interesting.
He's just having fun with it.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And this was a fun film. Yeah, in general, I had a good time watching it, and like the theater reactions. So even though like I didn't have like a big like theater, like that was all packed. The people behind me were having a great time. Yeah.
So you said that was your favorite scene, the Mr. Terrific fight scene.
Yeah, that was incredible.
You said yours was the interview. What about you, Sam?
For me, definitely Lex Luthor going into the Fortress of Solitude, walking in.
Oh,
yeah,
the Ice
the
Castle.
aura.
Yeah.
yeah.
that was baller.
That was sick.
Isn't that what it's called? Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
what
it
it's
is.
called?
It
Yeah.
is, yes.
Dude, that scene was incredible. I like this. Also, let's talk about the girl with the morphing
The
cells.
engineer.
Yeah.
That's one of the coolest things I've ever seen
That was
too.
cool.
That's great.
I've never seen that.
Also, the dude that morphs into different the elements.
Rex.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was like that. That
So
was
many
a really
cool, unique stuff in this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really
but,
cool.
But the kid Joey though.
Joey.
Joey, how about that?
Joey.
Yeah. To mention two other performances that I really liked was the parents.
Yes,
goes
we
home.
haven't even talked about the parents.
So-
Yeah.
That's
They have
true.
such a,
Yeah, that was
like,
really hard.
small
Yeah.
part. But
Small part, but very important and very meaningful. So like whenever he's talking on the phone with them for the first time after he gets his article on the front page, and it goes to them at the home, and the mom is talking to him on the phone, and the dad is sitting there.
speaker.
I loved how it felt so real because I think like all our parents talk to us on the phone like that. They're like talking into the phone.
Yeah, like have no
Hear them,
no
like, way
idea what
back
to
there.
do with it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Then they're like, tell him this, and I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah,
heard,
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Like, they don't understand.
Go
how
on
a
and tell
phone
them,
works.
and it's like it's piercing my
Yeah,
ears.
yeah. And then the other thing with the parents that I really liked is when the dad like spits like real truth about being a father and like caring for.
I think that's
your
one of the
children.
most important scenes.
I
If
agree.
that actor bombs that scene, I think the whole film falls apart
Yeah.
because the whole arc of Superman revolves around how he chooses to live, and his parents are like what pivots that because the whole story is like he had a vision of his parents, and that was completely shattered, and it's kind of the story of like, oh, I've grown up now, and it turns out the parents that I thought I knew I didn't, which is like a very relatable story, very human story.
Right.
Yeah, and then I love the tie-in at the end of him watching the footage of his like true parents.
Yeah, him growing
Yeah.
up.
Oh.
Yeah, and if
That was cool.
and if his dad is like ass cheeks, it just doesn't doesn't work. It falls apart. So,
I think
yeah.
the parents had two really big moments, like for both of them. Like the mom had I'm gonna go grab your suit. Like that was great.
Oh yeah, I
That-
cleaned your
that was
boots.
awesome.
Yeah.
they clean my boot. They clean your boots line was funny.
That was great. And then from the dad sitting down outside on the bench, like
Yeah.
looking at his son in the eyes and saying, "I'm proud of you."
Yeah,
That
he was
a
tearing up too.
very
Yeah.
huge moment that like I don't know if like every parent's like they all seek that validation from their parents, and I think it was great that Superman got that from his dad.
There was an elderly couple sitting right next to me,
Mm-hmm.
and the grandpa or the dad, I assume, was crying during that scene,
Mm-hmm.
and it just like I felt like an emotional stir, and like obviously he did too. I thought it was really powerful.
And that's kind of a Gunnism because every movie that he makes is about daddy issues. Like the whole Guardians
Yeah,
trilogy.
undo.
The whole Guardians trilogy is just about dad
Yeah.
problems.
for sure.
Like in Guardians 2 with him and the Kurt Russell's character, just him working out dad problems and finding out about Yondu. With Rocket, same thing. It's about daddy issues.
So
Like-
Sam, as our super, tell us about yours.
So, all right, let's go back to about 15 years.
Yeah, I guess that makes it work because like with Star-Lord, that whole character, big time, it's about his relationship with his dad.
Gamora has daddy issues.
Yeah, Gamora has daddy issues.
Yeah.
Nebula has daddy issues. Rocket has daddy issues. Like it's weird in Guardians 3 because Rocket's daddy is like a I don't even know how to describe that character.
Yeah.
The guy that created him and
Yeah.
you know how
The Papi.
Rocket's abused throughout his whole childhood.
Yeah.
And I guess now in retrospect, looking at Superman's origin in relation to his parents, Gunn's daddy issues do come in handy. Like they fit.
Yeah.
They fit thematically.
He puts them into his films, and it just always comes out like really well for some reason.
Yeah, and then not to I just want to talk about this. It didn't ruin the movie for me, but Bradley Cooper in the first 30 seconds took me out.
I
You feel
noticed
way?
that. I noticed that, and I thought it was tripping.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was him or not. To me, it looked like
Wait,
him.
I don't know who this guy
dude.
is.
Bradley Cooper?
The very beginning of the film, where Superman is like, "Can you play the video of my parents?" The dad is Bradley Cooper.
Are you sure it's him?
It's Bradley Cooper.
Okay, I thought so, but I didn't know. I thought it was just a dude that looked like him.
Yeah.
It's
No,
crazy.
no. But like, I don't know who Bradley Cooper
Okay.
is.
Here, I'll
I have no idea.
Bradley Cooper is like a hugely popular actor.
Okay.
And to me, that took me out of the film because his parents are supposed to be unknown.
Yeah.
But I'm looking up and I'm like, that's just Bradley Cooper in front of a green screen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wait. Hang on. So I'm a little bit lost here.
name
Bradley
actor.
Cooper is the Superman's dad. Show me
The
a photo.
the dad from Krypton.
The one, the message.
Okay. I was like, bro, that was an old guy. I don't know who that
No,
guy
no,
was.
yeah, I'm
His
talking about
dad.
the very beginning.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What did we think about the government, the representatives in the Pentagon?
Oh yeah, I like
Oh,
those.
that's another like team of actors that were just like really good.
Really good. What
Yeah.
did we think about like? Were they like in on anything?
don't think
It
so.
seemed like at the end when it's just the two guys walking, it seemed like the sexy man was like
The one with the
nodding
beard.
at something. Yeah, the beard guy.
Frank
was
Grillo,
kind of like pointing at
the guy from The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I don't know. All I felt watching the movie was that kind of, what is it, like the Secretary of Defense or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
defense.
It's like general
Yeah.
secretary. Yeah.
Whatever, the general blah blahs.
Mhm.
It seemed like they had agreed to outsource
Yes.
the containment of Superman.
Yeah.
But that wasn't their operation. They were just like, they're the only guys that can do it.
Yeah.
And
So give to them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're like collaborating with Lex
I
Luthor.
thought that too until the end, and so I guess we'll see in the future.
Yeah, no. Well, even like around the beginning of the film, they're like, "Hey, Lex can't do nothing. You know, he's not hostile. You know, until you have some proof that he's like a harmful.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. So, and then that happens. So I don't think they were colluding with him like more than just giving him the go ahead.
Sure.
I feel like we've hit a lot of like the ensemble, and we've bounced between a lot of the areas of the film, which are really like. Do we have any issues though? You want to dive into cons?
Crypto, love the dog, right? But there was a lot
Sam's
of
going straight for the dog.
yeah, that damn dog. No, there was a lot of like CGI, like you could tell, like with Crypto, which is understandable. How are you gonna get a flying dog to like move around like that, right?
show
But
you.
in Guardians, they had a Cosmo. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did that really well. So I was
Even the stuff on
expecting-
like the animals in Guardians 3, there's a lot of them.
yeah, there's a lot, and it just felt like very different for this one. What do you guys think about that?
I thought the part where he's pinned on the ground. I forget who has Superman pinned on the ground. I think it's Lex or something like that. At the
Where?
very end. And then Superman calls. He
Okay.
whistles.
Yeah,
And then the dog
when
comes in.
Ultraman has him
Ultraman.
pinned down.
Ultraman,
yeah.
yeah. I thought that was lame, to be honest, for like a big climax, because it was one of the biggest
They're
scenes.
calling
Yeah.
the dog.
Yeah, and he whistles and it's powerful and stuff. I thought it was kind of lame, to be honest. But I mean, the dog in general was great. I mean, I liked him.
I guess
thought
just
that
the
scene
point
was-
of like the motif of the dog being useless and like the motif of the dog like slamming into Superman.
Mhm.
That's done several times and it's seen as like a con of like this is annoying that we're like in an important moment and the dog just has no idea
Yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah.
And then the brain over brawn idea is like, oh, he's using it now
Sure.
as like a positive. But I kind of agree. But the scene right after where he's face to face with Lex makes up for it. What about you,
It's
Christiano?
definitely not a big deal at all. But
Yeah.
Man, I hate to say this, but I agree, honestly.
Yeah, the CGI.
Yeah, we're all saying the same thing, but I'm afraid like Crypto was just not it for me. I thought it was strange having a dog. Like I wanted a Superman film, not a Superman and his dog film.
wow,
You know, I
he
mean,
hates
Well,
dogs.
they announced the sequel.
you
The dog
heard
is going to have much more screen time.
You think so?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
the movie's
Oh.
actually called Superman.
Yeah, did you guys
Crypto.
watch the end
It's
credits?
only the
It's
dog,
called
no
Crypto,
Superman.
Actually, Superman's like they're cutting him.
Cryptocurrency.
What did you say, Sam?
You guys watched the end credits?
Yeah, I did.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one was Superman's cousin
Yeah.
coming back, taking Crypto away. So I doubt we're going to see.
Wait,
you know.
no, that was
What?
in the film. That
was in the film?
That was in the film.
So what was the?
The first one was with Crypto and Superman
Just
sitting.
staring at the
Oh,
They're
at
just
the
looking at
moon.
the Earth
Yeah,
for
sorry,
like
my
5
bad.
seconds.
Yeah,
But then
that's why it was so
the
short.
after one.
Yeah. Okay. And then there was the second one with Mr. Terrific.
Yes.
So yeah, what do you guys think about those? Like they were just more for
Neither
comedic
were,
relief,
yeah.
right?
I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
at all.
I thought they were just like, here's a little extra sprinkle.
Yeah, just fun. Just fun.
Which
Yeah.
I feel like most post-credit scene tend to tease like the next movie.
Sure.
I was
I
hoping
actually
they did
like
that.
that they didn't do that.
I do too.
Okay.
I like that.
I like how because it's to me it's in the spirit of the original post-credit scene in a way of like
Yeah.
we're just gonna give you a little little
Yes.
haha yeah.
Like we shouldn't make it an expectation that we're gonna get a 3-minute clip pointing towards the next movie when we should just like enjoy.
Yeah, because I like Superman getting his moment. I think it actually would have been worse if like Clark Kent's like at the Daily Planet and he looks up at the screen and like Batman is saving
Yeah.
someone. I actually feel like that would have taken away from the movie.
Sure. Or like for example, in Marvel, whenever like I forgot which one, but the movie sucked and the post credit scene was like Harry Styles showing up. It was like
Eternals.
Like yeah, there you go.
I never
like
saw Eternals.
Me neither.
it actually didn't suck that bad, but
I heard it was bad, so I just.
I actually like that
Yeah.
movie.
I just thought it was funny. We're like what are you doing? You know?
I think it's. I mean, I've been hammering on and on about how James Gunn is kind of like rewiring the DCU, right? But that's one of the things. Like in the beginning, he spares us the exposition dump. Like we don't do the 20 minutes. This is how we get his powers, and this is the blah blah blah. This is James Gunn in the opening. He's saying like, we know that we've been doing this for like 10 years, 20 years. Let's just hop right in, right? And then in the end, he's kind of doing that too. Where in the post-credit scenes, we're not gonna do. Let me show you Batman's costume with epic music, and then you have to give me more money in 3 years when we see that movie.
Sure.
He's kind of rejecting a lot of the things that a lot of the sins that
accustomed
we've
to.
done. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't know. It's not like he's asking for forgiveness, but he's like making a conscious course correction, and that's one of the decisions too. Is the post-credit scenes.
I feel like we've missed one of my favorite fight scene of the entire movie, And that was when he was fighting all of Lex Luthor's goons and using his laser
Oh,
vision,
yeah.
spinning around and taking them all out.
That's dope.
I feel like we really need to rewind and go back to that. That was,
Yeah.
in my opinion, the coolest fight scene by far.
I like
think
the
it was
part
great.
where the tooth hits the glass.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that was
sick.
sick. That
dope.
was.
One thing that I think about whenever I think of this movie is y'all might not agree or might not or see it differently than I do, but it's very political in the
Yeah.
fact that like the person, the president of that country is like clearly Vladimir Putin.
There's
With-
a lot
with
of
the
stuff
whole,
that's
like-
like super on the nose to contemporary
Yeah,
time.
it's like a commentary.
The Vladimir Putin, Palestine stuff.
exactly.
The
The whole like military
There-
industrial
the Israel
complex
Israel war.
is like so much on
about
the nose.
talking about like whether or not the U.S. should interfere and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And then also Elon Musk as the
Yeah.
As a-
corporate overload, right?
So we
Or
definitely
Jeff
know who-
Bezos kind of.
Yeah, we definitely know who he voted.
But-
but oh, go ahead.
I'll just say, Cristiano, you mentioned the laser fight scene, right? That you're talking.
Wait.
There you go.
Stop.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
I do not care about the
Elijah's trying to talk about the politics, and I was about to get in there, and then Sam's like, let me talk about the lasers real quick.
The laser eyes. Let me tell you about those.
Oh my God, Sam, you're killing me. You're getting. Like, Cristiano's like, yeah, lasers.
I like this
Hey.
a lot more.
Me and
Oh
Cristiano
my
don't know
God.
much about that, but lasers and yeah.
I mean, I know that
funny.
stuff.
Sorry, guys.
You're killing me.
No, dude, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, shut up. Let me talk about the lasers.
You guys want to keep going on about politics?
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. I don't think this movie is interested in that though.
Agreed.
Like, I think Gunn is like, I'm gonna. It falls in line with like the goofiness
Mhm.
of like the tonally this film is really goofy and he's like doing a goofy portrayal of like reality too.
Mhm.
But I think anyone looking any deeper than those like silly metaphors is looking way too deeply. I don't think
Sure.
this film is actually constructing a political thesis that's super strong or meaningful.
Sure.
That doesn't ruin the movie,
Yeah.
but it's just like, haha,
It's
haha,
not
Putin.
saying that much.
Yeah.
It's just putting us in the world that we live in.
And
Right.
this is the line that confirms that thought for me or that feeling for me is it's the scene where Lex Luthor's being like slandered on the news or like not slandered but like it's Lex Luthor is revealed.
Yep.
And then a character looks up at or a character in the newsreel says one thing that conservatives and liberals can agree on,
Yeah.
Lex Luthor sucks.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew, oh, James Gunn is like just having fun.
Yeah.
So let's go back to lasers.
Yeah. All right, Cristiano, you ready?
Yeah, I was good.
No, I'm kidding. For everyone, so Superman's lasers came out like 2 or 3 times, right?
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I
I didn't
no,
count how many
count.
times.
Like
Yeah.
twice.
But when I saw it at the very end for the last fight scene, that's your favorite, right?
Yes.
It made me realize how much restraint he's putting on the whole movie, right?
Okay.
Because he's really like aware of everything he's doing. The fight scene with the big thing, right? That's really what
Well, he
it's called.
doesn't want to cause
Yeah.
10 9/11s around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm glad that this
Right.
movie, takes into account,
Oh, okay.
All
You know, I
that.
didn't think about
Mhm.
that, but yeah, that's
and he's
that's a
like,
good point.
avoiding structure
Right.
damage,
I thought that was clear when the way that he treats even fighting the villains themselves.
Don't hurt him.
He's not only saving the humans, he's also trying to save the beings. Like he was trying to keep that thing alive.
Oh yeah.
And the way that he was treating it, he was fighting it very delicately.
Mhm.
Like think about I think why the what does he say? Like eyes up here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite lines, not because it's a classic like comic book
Quippy
line.
Yeah.
But that line signals one main thing. That's he's trying to keep everyone and the monster alive. Because what is he doing when he's like flying all the way up there? He's keeping all the lasers shooting up at him
Yeah.
so that there's no destruction being caused. And I just love that like detail of care, even with the antagonist.
It's just something I saw
Yeah, for
throughout the whole
sure.
movie.
Right.
I thought it was. I'm just gonna say this is funny. The part where like Hot Girl is just stabbing the eye over and over again.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What were you gonna say?
As we like, as we get towards the end of the movie,
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask what's next in the pipeline for DCU, because I'm sure you know what's up next.
Yeah. So what I should do is I should just send you notes, but I have you read them.
Yeah.
Just like mispronouncing all the movies. Okay. James Gunn, obviously I told you Gods and Monsters is the name of this first chapter.
Uh-huh.
Peacemaker, right? Peacemaker the show, I think
Uh-huh.
is considered
Canon?
part of it, I
Okay.
think. But I know that Superman is like this is
The beginning.
the Iron Man of the DCU,
Mhm.
right? there are a lot of mini series introducing more niche characters that, frankly, I have forgotten their names, but they're more niche characters, and they fall in line with this theme of gods and monsters.
Okay.
So we're gonna see more like monsters in this section of the DCU. And this is a quick Google search.
Yeah.
The main one that stuck out to me next that they're doing is I'm forgetting the name of it, but it is another Batman film. I think it's called The Bat and the Bold.
Oh.
Something like that.
Okay.
Which is the DCU Batman, not Matt Reeves' Robert Pattinson Batman.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Pattinson Batman is excluded from the DCEU and the DCU. That's its own thing.
That's crazy.
Oh, shoot.
Are they still
So
working
much
on that?
going on.
Yeah, they just finished the script.
I can't,
Okay.
I'm not
So we're
gonna
gonna get
keep up
both?
with any of that.
I think it's sad that
14,000 Batman.
Yeah.
I could tell you where everything is in the maze
That's
in the map.
wild.
Bro spent way too much time figuring all
Batmans.
this out.
Yeah, so all the Batmans that exist, there's the Nolan Batman, that's its own thing. There's the Ben Affleck, he plays a Batman in the DCEU. And then there are also other Batmans in the DCEU. And the Flash movie that happens.
So Superman.
Thank you, thank you.
Bring it back. Reel it back in.
Yeah.
Lasers.
Yeah.
The tights.
The tights.
Yeah.
The tights.
the same thing.
There you go. There you go.
Oh my god.
What do y'all think?
I'm in for the tights.
I'm glad
Yeah,
that
thank-
they're bringing back like the original comic book
I
look.
might wear
you know?
those.
Yeah.
So
You want-
I feel like they
got someone. What?
if anything, not tight enough. That's what I'm saying.
they've done that a
didn't see
lot, right? Bring back like original comic book looks. They did that for the Wolverine, right?
Yes,
Pretty
they
recently.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did it once for Captain America.
Yeah.
Soon at this rate,
I
they're
don't
just
keep
gonna
up with
be
Marvel too much. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but you know, I like it when they bring like the comic book
Yeah.
accurate ones.
at
For
this
sure.
rate,
It's always
they're
fun to
gonna
see.
have a movie where they're only wearing the undies, and I'm not gonna enjoy it.
I'm gonna be there for that. Opening weekend. Hopefully, Fantastic Four. Hopefully,
Four.
Pedro Pascal in his whitey
Mr.
tighties.
Fantastic.
Be a good movie.
Did you see that?
I just kind of want to just talk about like more into the flaws that I felt with this film. One, I
Which-
felt like go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Which Cristiano is 0.
Exactly. There is no flaws in Superman.
I feel like the breakneck pace, and usually I love when films are just like go like 100 miles per hour, which this film is definitely operating at. And the trend of recent years has been like these movies are way too long, like they're hitting like the 2-hour 30 mark, and just
Right.
like what are we doing? And this movie is again James Gunn kind of course correcting. This is a tight 2-hour 10.
Yeah.
This is actually a pretty short movie for Superman.
Right.
If this movie was 3 hours, like announced to be 3 hours long, I wouldn't have been surprised.
You know, they actually cut a scene from the movie. Oh, they did. They cut a scene from the movie just to make it shorter. Like that was the intention.
All right.
Well,
Just
I
one.
think that's what they.
No.
They do
Maybe,
normally do
maybe it was
that.
a bad
No, that's
scene.
what I'm saying. Yeah, they wanted it. Like they specifically made sure it was shorter for
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, it's a tight 210, which is tight for Elijah, you dick. Elijah cracking.
Like,
I thought that was funny.
No.
Hold up,
No,
you're
no,
telling
no.
me.
Wait, hold on. Not you making that point thing is funny. It's you cracking up in the corner, like to yourself. Like, look it up.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you want to give that?
They generally do that.
Well, I didn't know that. Now I do. Now we do.
There we go.
Elijah's like, yeah, that happens.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, this movie's operating at breakneck speed. Like I feel like I just feel like I'm sprinting while watching this movie. And I feel like it cuts a couple of the moments a little short. Like something that I noticed was Lois Lane and Superman reuniting at the end of the film. Right? They start making out in the air, and it's a cool shot, right? But I was thinking, like, when was the last time they talked to each other in the movie? And it was
know, right?
the last time they talked to each other was like they finally get him out of the pocket dimension, and he's tired, and then she brings him to like the Kent's house. They don't really talk, and then like for the next 20 minutes they don't talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, before that, it was him getting out of the pocket dimension saying, oh, you came for me, right? And
Yeah.
then before that, it was their talk where he says, I love you to Lois Lane.
Yeah, that's it. And I felt like if you just only watch the Clark Kent and Lois Lane scenes, there's like a big gap somewhere in there.
Right.
And I just feel like emotionally you feel wrapped up because Superman wins. But like within the context of the relationship, I just feel like it's like I could have actually used more. Like I could have used like one more.
Well, I mean, she was watching him on TV.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there was still like a little bit of connection there, but it wasn't with Clark and Lois.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my point.
And then
It's
she
like-
also like saw the human side of him when she brought him home too.
exactly
Right.
like there's like yeah, but it's that his home stuff is like not between him and her. So it's like the Clark and Lois stuff is actually very limited. There's like 2-3 scenes of that.
Yeah.
A lot at the beginning, not very much.
Well, I mean,
for the
and
rest.
but it's called
Yeah.
it's Superman. It's not
That is
Clark.
true.
It's not Clark Kent.
But I
Yeah.
enjoyed every dialogue scene with him. I would prefer
Yeah.
the fast pace, like go go go, than a dragging dialogue and like a dragging movie.
Yeah,
I
sure,
know.
sure,
Mhm.
absolutely. It just felt like there was some like stuff left that I could have asked for a little bit more from that side. And I guess I agree with you, Elijah. Like some of the beats in the third act are like I wasn't like all the way sold. Like the brain beats brawn moment with Superman. Like it was a fine like climactic ending to that, right? It was like a fine resolution to that. And that's kind of how I felt with the romance.
Sorry, this isn't a romance movie, Seth. No, I'm kidding.
It's not called Super Couple.
Sam's over here. Let's talk about the lasers.
Lasers.
Did y'all have any other big issues with this film?
I didn't really have any big issues. I think they like hit great points, and in general, they did a really good job, right? And it was a good first film, especially for this universe, right? But I don't think it had like any negatives, like really. Not to say it's like the best film,
Yeah.
yeah, but
I don't see an issue big enough to take away from how great this film was.
Yeah, it was clear cut to the point. We got our movie. I mean, I don't have much bad to say about it.
now we'll be chanting Superman in the streets. You know? Well, Christiano has been doing that. But
Right, of course.
As we sort of wrap up and we're looking towards the end of this film, I kind of want to ask, like, how does this reframe y'all's expectations for Kate films, comic book films in the future, DCEU projects, et cetera, et cetera?
It makes me feel good that we're going in a good direction, but this could be like easily like
Oh, you think like in the next film they could easily ruin it?
ruin it, and then they'll be like, let's get another reset going, you know. So it's
That is kind of the current status. Of
yeah. I feel like a
comic book films.
lot of like superhero films. They're like, we're reintroducing this character. Great first movie, second movie, they scrap it.
Sorry for cussing.
Sorry for cuz.
Christiano, what are your sort of expectations moving forward with superhero films in general?
Man, I honestly I don't know. I think they have to make the right choice with the right heroes, and I think if they can do that, and like especially with these unknown characters and James Gunn giving his track history, honestly I think he can do it. I mean, he did it with Guardians of the Galaxy, and I didn't know who those people were before. I mean, did any of y'all know who
Nope,
where they were
absolutely not.
exactly? And I mean, I think he honestly, if there's someone to do it, I think he's the man for the job.
Yeah,
He made
that's
us
a good
scared.
point because given because there's a lot of directors that have had a storied track record with comic book films. Like it's not like it's a new one every single time, right? And the story with James Gunn is like I think his superpower is that he's able to make wide audiences care about characters and like whether they know them or not. Like he deeply cares and gives respect to the characters as comic book characters, but also we got kids lining up for these characters that we don't know. Like James Gunn got kids to line up to go see a raccoon. You know what I mean?
To see a talking tree.
Yeah. And now you're giving James Gunn Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman.
Yeah. You're like unleashing him.
Yeah. It's a good look.
I actually like that he's showing the Justice Gang like smaller heroes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Snyder
loves
was
them.
just spoon feeding us just everything they got. He was just gung ho. Here's our best shot, and it just didn't pan out the way we were looking for. So I like
That's
this.
valid.
I like this slow motion of bringing out the small stuff he's got just to like really hit the nail on the head when he gets to the big stuff.
Great point.
It does feel like James Gunn is going to wait a while for a team up movie. That's like the
I hope he
impression I'm
does.
getting.
Yeah, hopefully.
That was the same thing with the MCU, right? They had like
yeah.
all their individual films established, and then it was the Avengers.
Yeah. What about you, Elijah? Where are your expectations at now? Looking forward.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great like first film of the new phase. I mean, I think if we get anything like this again, then I'll be happy. My expectations aren't super high because, like Sam said, they could just mess it up. But I think I have an optimistic mind. The only person that could do this better than James Gunn is the director of Sleeves, and I don't think they're paying him enough to do this.
With James Gunn at the helm, this is an interesting thing because we start off with the MCU versus the DCEU, and I think up until the ending of the Infinity Saga with Endgame, the MCU was like a near perfect franchise. Not that it had all bangers, like there were certainly some stinkers in the MCU, but as far as its construction, it was essentially perfect in that like pretty much every film was a building block that was at least moderately important to the overarching story. And then now we've kind of lost it. We're now even in this multiverse saga, we're like, where are we? What is going on? Right? And I think with James Gunn at the helm, we can maybe see a return of that. And I think with us seeing all of like the bottom of the barrel, and what the worst of comic book filmmaking could look like, James Gunn is an ideal candidate to sort of shepherd this new wave of comic book films that actually work again. I see optimism too. Again, we're looking like very deeply forward into the timeline. Like we could look 5 minutes later, 5 years later, like this whole thing is blown up again in Warner Brothers' face. But at the moment, this is like a great step forward, because if this first film, if their Iron Man bombs, I mean that's already rough.
Yeah.
I think this is an incredible start though. Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm gonna give Superman an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Just to give it a number. It's not one of the best comic book films of all time, but I think it's a strong solo one, and will be remembered for being like one of the most pure comic book films of all time, in how goofy and how like silly it is in its comic bookness. What are you giving it, Sam?
I give it like a 6. It was enjoyable. Yeah, nothing like too crazy to say about it again.
Okay, that's
Feels low to me, Sam.
honestly that's.
You think that's low?
I want to comment on. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on.
Sorry, I'm just not your favorite guy.
No.
But,
Hang on. We're gonna talk about this real quick. 6 out of 10
is low for
to the
Superman.
man that said, "I don't see any like huge issues with
Yeah.
this film."
So that's like a 60%, right?
Yeah, that's a failing grade.
Yeah, some would see it that way,
For me, it's passing.
All right,
For all plumbers, it's
we're
fast.
all plumbers.
but I think above a 5 means it like reached its marks to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Sam just wanted more lasers.
Yeah.
You know
He's all
what?
about the
Shit,
lasers.
Maybe, yeah. Fair enough. Lasers are valid.
I give it like a 7 or 8, up there with Seth.
Okay.
I was hoping you'd be like a 2 just to see Christiano's
Yeah.
reaction.
Like, God.
This movie sucks.
Where are you at, Cristiano?
I give it an 8 out of 10. I think it was good. I think it had its issues. I didn't like the dog, bro. I
Yeah.
didn't like the dog. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Dog hater.
Didn't resonate.
I'm
with
sorry,
me.
this is not an anti-dog
Kill it.
podcast. We just
Yeah.
apparently didn't like crypto.
If it's not a goldfish, I'm not a fan.
He's a man of the people.
Oh my god, that's the first time we had a title of the pod.
Title
plug.
drop? Yeah.
He's a goldfish boy at heart.
All right, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Not really. If Cristiano, you want to, say any last thoughts or, your socials,
All right. Yeah, I
You
guess
wanna
on
plug
last.
Cristiano Gaming.
Before we do
Again.
that, I think like we'll finish off on this this Superman adventure here with I think the DC has hope for the future.
Mhm.
I think that's gonna be
amen
it.
to that.
Yeah.
Wow, Mr. Segway over here.
Heck yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, if you want to check me out, I'm Listiano Gaming on TikTok. Me and my girlfriend Leandro, we stream video games all the time. We have a good time over there.
Subscribe.
Yeah, go ahead and hit that
Shameless
follow
plug.
button.
All right, guys. Cristiano, we thank you for coming onto the pod
This
for
is
us.
great.
Yeah.
So you'll be back when the new Superman.
Hey,
comes
next
out?
Superman,
All
baby.
right.
Give it a minute.
Our
Yeah.
Superman ambassador. We're collecting
There we
them.
go.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
This is
Big
fun.
Chungus in the house.
Cristiano, we thank you. Audience, that was Goldfish.
Yeah.
Boys.
Oh, sorry. Did I mess it up?
Here. Say it again, and Cristiano can join you with the. boys.
Okay, I'll join.
Guys, that was Goldfish.
Oh, wait.
Got him! Dang it! We out this.